as nighttime comes to the Capitol here this evening.
For many of us who have covered this over the last year,
the excitement of the day is over.
Before tonight's debate begins, we do want to recap.
None of those are conditions presumed to be connected to Camp Lejeune service.
Actually, just a few minutes ago, we saw one of those snowplows.
What we are seeing here right now along the interstate in the westbound lanes here, multiple tractor trailers blown over onto their side because of these high winds. I can tell you, just standing here in the last several minutes, it is very windy. It's very hard to stand, let alone, as you can imagine, drive.
Eastern Kentucky was facing a disaster.
I remember getting the call, heading to the Emergency Operations Center B.
Caleb Conley's funeral getting underway today with a song that simply said, "Why does God take the good ones? Don't cry for me, I'm all right."
Welcome to the historic and fabled Roy Kidd Stadium on the campus of Eastern Kentucky University. This facility bears the name of the one man who constructed a football dynasty in Richmond.
But still, these offers are surprisingly easy to find. Some are in so-called support groups.
Because whenever you get in your car, you expect to arrive at your destination safely. Maybe you forget to check your mirror before you get over. And maybe you accidentally cut someone off. And then you find yourself in front of an aggressive driver.
Janie Lewis hears stories like these often.
7 years ago, after losing my mother, I found myself homeless and living on the street.
But she knows, for one anonymous woman, these typewritten words were reality.
I became addicted to drugs and then got involved in sex work to support my addiction. I was incarcerated and beaten often, living on the streets because I thought I had no other options. Natalie's Sisters continues to support and encourage me today.
What Lewis sees in this sister's story:
in these past 3 years, God has restored my family, my mind, and my entire life. Now I see a future for myself after 10 years of darkness.
Not an ending, but a beginning. In Lexington, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
We all have grandparents, we all have aunts and uncles, we all have someone that we know that has potentially been affected by Alzheimer's disease.
This is truly a pivotal moment in the field.
You can't rebuild a 4-pound brain that's gone down to a 3-pound brain.
Every day we try to get more research, and we need more volunteers.
The medicine has proven to be able to delay the decline.
How are you today?
Doing good.
Now we can really begin to put into motion new ways to help our patients with Alzheimer's.
Welcome to this special edition of WKYT Investigates. I'm Kristen Kennedy.
A small memorial now lines Myers Road.
Just to mark it, you know.
The site of a crash that has left its own marks, seen
we very much feel it.
And unseen.
Every day.
Rebecca Allison most remembers the sounds.
The girl started to scream, and this loud terror. She was terrified and in a lot of pain.
Allison lives just feet from where the red pickup truck left the pavement and yards from where it landed. She says while her husband performed CPR on 2 of the victims, she dialed 911.
Where is your emergency?
It wasn't the first time that night someone called police on the red truck. Less than 2 hours earlier, a man who was asked not to be identified drove down part of the same highway.
I got to get in the ditch to get, completely almost off the road, almost wrecked myself trying to get off the road.
In an exclusive interview with WKYT Investigates, he says he narrowly avoided a crash as the red truck and another car sped around him.
They make me mad, they almost killed me that when they passed me down there, it just make me mad.
After he says he saw them again in downtown Carlisle at 9:42 p.m., he dialed 911.
201, 202, go ahead.
Caller advises red Dodge truck driving all over roadway, the blotter states, with 4 to 5 people inside and hanging out windows. At 9:49, a Carlisle police officer pulled over 24-year-old Cheyenne Clifford in a matching red truck at a local gas station. Dispatch logs show the stop lasted 6 minutes before Clifford was let go with a verbal warning. Now 9:56 p.m., 1 hour 43 minutes before the fatal crash. Carlisle Police Chief Bill Denton declined a request for an on-camera interview, but did speak with me on the phone. He told me the department does not have a specific policy for when to issue a warning instead of writing a citation or making an arrest in a traffic stop. He said he trusts his officers to use all of their senses and their common sense. I'm told the officer who pulled Clifford over that night, Jamie Kofer, resigned effective July 24th. Chief Denton says his resignation letter did not give any reasons. That officer, through a family member, declined to comment for this story. Clifford also has a lengthy history of previous traffic offenses that could have been red flags. As recently as April 10th in Bourbon County, Clifford was charged with speeding and reckless driving. A state trooper said he saw Clifford driving 101 in a 55. Online court records show 8 other incidents that resulted in traffic charges filed against him going back to 2014 when Clifford was just 15 years old. After the crash, Clifford was charged for expired tags and failure to maintain insurance. Investigators say he initially lied to them, saying he wasn't driving.
I done the right thing. I called it in that they was driving reckless.
The man who called 911 earlier in the night says he can't know for sure if Clifford had been drinking before he reported him, but he does know the behavior he saw, and he knows what happened next.
But I had it done over again, I'd have blocked the road on them, and I'd have pulled them out of the truck, and they might have whooped my ass, but I'd have done my best to do whatever I had to do.
For Rebecca and Larry Allison.
It was a long and terrible night. It really was.
It's been impossible to escape the memories of what happened here on their property.
If it's hard for me, I can only imagine. I can only imagine what it is for the families and the individuals that survived. I can only imagine.
When these veterans landed in the nation's capital, a hero's welcome was waiting.
Have a wonderful day.
It was the start to what would be a very special and meaningful day for each.
Just like you to enjoy yourselves, and we're going to have a good day.
At the U.S. Marine Corps War Memorial, we found someone looking for her grandfather. And for one veteran from Barberville, his trip was about to get even more special.
Abby, you gonna come with me? You go see Papa?
Mixed in among the veterans taking in the memorial statue was Charles Douglas. His granddaughter, an active military member, Elizabeth Delgado, was about to pull it off.
Who's that? Is he Papa?
Hey, Elizabeth. How's my captain?
Good.
Lord, she looks like you.
Delgado, who is in D.C. for a short tour before heading back to officer training school, wanted her little girl to share in this moment with the veteran who helped raise her.
To see them and know that this is about them, and I get to do what I do every day and my job because of what they sacrificed and what they did.
For Delgado, it seems being in the military was always in her blood.
Seems to be part of it.
Was Air Force.
Then my dad was the Air Force for 23 years, and then my husband, he served in the Marine Corps for 4, and so then it came my turn.
The weather on this trip threatened to put a damper on the day, but to these veterans, a little rain was nothing. For those who fought in Korea, there was time spent at their memorial, but there was also another wall, the Vietnam Memorial, where many spent about an hour taking it in and looking for fallen friends.
He got killed, he was in my recon unit platoon.
For many, the day is emotional and it stirs up the past. But then there is
Hell cow. Yeah. That is beautiful. Ain't that?
Each honor flight ends with veterans opening a packet full of letters and cards.
That's worth the whole trip right there. Yeah.
We sat with Richard Morgan as he opened his packet. We asked him about the day. For him, it included taking part in the wreath-laying ceremony at Arlington.
I loved that trip. It brought back a lot of memories, but they were good memories.
Like every mission, it must come to an end. But for these veterans, many years removed from their service, they boarded a plane back to their old Kentucky home, taking with them a day that reminds them just how appreciated their time spent serving truly was.
People just don't realize what something like this means to someone my age or my colleagues. And we're not done yet. And, you know, we got a lot of miles left in it.